In this video, I will teach you how to build an AI receipt scanner using n8n that can take any receipt, parse it into structured data, which can be uploaded to the database. The first thing we need to do when we are in the n8n is add a trigger node, which in our case will be on form submission. Put the title as anything you want, but I can say receipt uploader. For the form elements, we are going to need the file. The field name should be receipt just for the easier use. Mark it as required file and make sure multiple files is also turned on because this workflow can be used for uploading multiple receipts at the same time. Make sure to change the name of the node to something you can easily recall. For my case, I'll just name it as receipt upload. The next node that we need to add is going to be a code node. We are adding this code node in order to separate each receipt into its own object. So for example, if we upload 4 or 5 receipts, we cannot run them through Mistral all at the same time. We need to separate them into individual receipt and then use a loop node to extract information from all of them. This is how the code node will look like. I will leave a Notion document with the JSON for the workflow, as well as this code node and any other things like LLM prompts in the description below, so you can easily copy it. I will rename this code node to separate binary files. The next thing we need to do is add a loop node and just set it to 1 because we don't need to analyze more than one receipt at a time. The next thing we need to add is a way to parse the image, the receipt, into a structured data, and we will use Mistral AI for this. This is one of the best OCR models right now. Make sure to set up your credentials. So you would go to Mistral, you would click API keys, then you would click create new key, name it receipt workflow or any other name you want. Make sure to select your workspace and no expiration. After you have done that, you will be able to come here and insert your API key. For the resource, make sure to choose document. Operation will be extract text. Right now, it's only one model, which is the latest one. Choose the document only for PDFs, but in our case, we are using image. For the input, make sure it remains as data because in our code node, we are outputting every single binary as data. You can just keep it that way. To test this workflow, we can upload the receipt from before. Okay, so as you can see, we have the receipt right here as a binary file. When it goes through the code node, the name changes from this receipt to data. Now it goes into the loop node and it should successfully be analyzed by the OCR. Yes, so here's the output. As you can see, we need the extracted text in our case. The next thing we need to do is analyze the output from Mistral. For that, I will just use the OpenAI ChatGPT node. For this case, I'll just use 4.1 mini. Yeah, make sure you connect your credentials. One is a system prompt and the other one is the user prompt. So for the role, I said you're an OCR receipt organizer and formatter. You will receive a receipt information from Mistral OCR. Your job is to take that information and organize it so it is easier to input to a database like Google Sheets or Airtable. I have a few rules, so ignore information except the ones mentioned in the output. Since we have quantity, if there is an item that was bought 2 times, label quantity as 2 and add the item total amount. Always format the date like this. I inputted an example receipt, so all I did is take the output from here. I copied this right here and uploaded it into the system prompt, and then I manually wrote the output for this particular receipt. So we have date, we have the store name, item, quantity, price, number of items, subtotal, tax, and total, and a few different rules. So always output the item, quantity, price like this, item, quantity, price. I will leave this prompt in the Notion document in the description. For the user prompt, it's very easy. All we need to do is just drag the extracted text from here to here. So as you can see, it's already nicely formatted. If I run the LLM node right now, it should analyze the output from OCR and give me a few things. Okay, so it looks like I forgot one thing. Make sure in the options to click on the output format and select JSON object and leave this to medium. If this is as a JSON, you would need to parse it. But if we just run it like this with the JSON object, then the output should be just the objects. We have the date, the store name, and each items from the receipt with their quantity and price. The next thing we need to do is to separate our output into two different flows. One flow will be for individual items on the receipt, and the other one will be for the total of the receipt. Now it's time to set up the actual database. I use Google Sheets, but you can use Airtable or any other CRM you want. For individual items, we need date, store, item, quantity, and price. And for the second sheet, for the total, we only need the date, store, number of items, subtotal, tax, and total. We can add the first Google Sheets right here, which is append row in sheet. We'll choose our file and the correct sheet. So for this one, I want to choose the total one. Just drag the output from the LLM model for the store name right here, number of items, subtotal, tax, and total. If we run this right now, it should be able to populate the Google Sheet correctly. Yeah, so as you can see, we have date and all the other information. For the second flow, because the individual items are in an array, we have the array of content, text, and then items, and then individual items, we need to separate the array into individual items. We will use a split out node right here, and the fields we will split out on is right here. So how this works is the output is right here, then inside the output is the content right here, then we have the text and the actual items. So if your output right here on the left side looks something different, you can just follow the drop down. So this is the first one, and then the content, text, and items. We do not need any other fields. We execute this. Probably should just pin this so it doesn't keep running. So we have 4 individual items, and now we can upload them to the correct Google Sheet. All we have to do is just copy this one on the top and change the total to detailed. For the date, you have to take from the LLM model. So right here, the store name, but for the actual items, is going to be from the split out node, quantity, price. If you run this right now, most likely only the top one will run and the workflow will stop. To make sure that both flows run, we need to merge both of the ends together. So all I will do is add an no operation node and rename it to done and connect both of these. And that's basically the whole workflow. After this node, you can connect to the loop over. If I upload 2 receipts at the same time, you will see that this workflow will be able to successfully parse them and upload to the correct sheet. So let me delete this. This is empty. I have these 2 different receipts that I generated using Gemini. The one on the left, we have 3 items, and the one on the right, we have 4 items. I should be able to upload both of these, and this workflow should be able to parse them at the same time. So as you can see, I uploaded 2 files. The workflow is working. It is 2 items, but because we are using loop over node, is going to take each receipt one at a time and parse them through. It adds the totals first, total from the first receipt and the total from the second receipt, and then it actually goes and adds the individual items from each receipt after. If we check Google Sheets right now, this is the individual items from the first receipt, and these are the items from the second one. And each total is right here. This is the whole workflow. It's pretty simple. You can build onto this, and if you run into any problems or have any questions, you can just leave a comment down below and I will make sure to answer it. For the next video, you can actually vote which workflow you want to see next. LinkedIn lead generator that actually got 50% reply rate, and for the second one is an AI voice agent that I sold for $500. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.